and welcome back to the Cupcake Jemma channel with me, Jemma. Thank you all so much for being here and watching this video. And a special thank you to all you subscribers out there. When you subscribe to the channel, it really helps us understand that you love us and that we are doing things right. But nothing says, I love what you're doing and keep up the great work, than signing up to the Bake Club over on Patreon. Now, if you are in a position to do that, it's a great place. You get downloadable PDF versions of all the recipes, you get extra behind the scenes photos, inside information, you get special offers. It's really fun. So if you are in a position to join the Bake Club, we'll put a link down there. We are so grateful for everyone who is a Bake Club member. You're really helping to support the channel. But if you aren't in a position to do that, do not fear. Subscribing's still good. You still get all this amazing content, absolutely free. Speaking of amazing content, now it's summer and it's peach time. I mean, it's been peach time for a little while, but I think a really great way of using peaches is to put them in a muffin. Now, that's maybe not the most traditional way of using a peach, but I love a peach muffin. They're really great for like grab and go breakfast, or maybe to take to a picnic, or just for no reason at all, because you just love peaches. So what we're going to do first is make the streusel topping. Now, you don't have to do this, but I really like to have a little bit of crunch on my muffins, but it's completely up to you whether you do this or not, but do it. So I've got a small bowl here and I'm going to put 45 grams of plain flour in there. Then add 2 tablespoons of Demerara sugar, a good pinch of salt, a teaspoon of ground ginger. Then just give that a little stir with a fork just to make sure all those dry ingredients are really well incorporated. Then add 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So just mix that together with a fork. I find the fork's the best utensil because it kind of breaks it up and mixes it together at the same time. And if it feels a little bit wet, just add a little bit more flour. If it feels too dry, maybe add a bit more butter or even a drop of water. That should make it all nuggety, but you should end up with lovely sort of crumbly nuggets. Now we're going to get on with the muffiny bit. Obviously, it's a muffin recipe after all. Now with all muffins, well, most muffins, the best thing to do is to mix the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients and then bring them together briefly for lovely, light, fluffy muffins. So my dry ingredients are going to go into a big bowl and I'm going to put them all through a sieve just to help to break up any of the brown sugar or any lumps, but also it will help to mix the bits and bobs together. So I've got 240 grams of plain flour, add 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and then 120 grams of caster sugar, 60 grams of light soft brown sugar, and a good pinch of salt. See, sometimes the brown sugar really gets a bit nuggety, so it's a really good idea to sieve it. I would recommend sieving it in all baking occasions, to be honest. Anyway, that's done. Just pop that to one side. And now for the wet ingredients. Now, I want to put pureed peach in here. So I'm actually going to be using a high-speed blender just because I want the peach element of it to be really, really smooth. So I'm actually going to put all of the wet ingredients into my high-speed blender. Starting with 160 grams of ripe peaches. It's sometimes a bit tricky to work out when peaches are at optimum, but if you give them a good squeeze and they really give, but don't sort of disintegrate, that's when you know. I'm leaving the skin on just because I think they are a beautiful colour and there's no harm in them. I think they're delicious. You can call this series How to Butcher a Peach. I'm also adding 190 grams of plain yoghurt, 2 large eggs, 70 grams of sunflower oil, 70 grams of melted butter, and just a drop of almond extract. That's totally optional, but I think it boosts the peach flavour just a tiny bit. Then pop the lid on and whiz it up until totally smooth. Then you want to pour it over your dry ingredients into the bowl and then stir it all with a fork. Again, I prefer this method of stirring just because I think it doesn't overwork the gluten in the flour and make your muffins really tough. You don't want to overmix muffins as they can really easily become dense and stodgy. So when you can still see a little bit of flour knocking about, add 140 grams of ripe chopped peaches as well and just fold them in really briefly. And then transfer the mixture into a jug for easy pouring. I've already lined my 12-hole muffin pan or cupcake pan with cupcake cases or muffin cases, whichever you have or prefer to call them. And I'm going to fill these up quite high. The muffins do rise up really nicely, but you want them to be chubby little guys. So I take it quite close to the top, maybe like a ½ centimetre away from the top. And excuse the mess. I'm doing what I can, guys, but it is very runny. Now you can top these if you want with a little slice of peach. I like to do a mixture of the two, so with streusel on top and some with a slice of peach and streusel. And don't worry if you have leftover streusel topping, put that in the freezer and then you can sprinkle it on your crumbles or more muffins if you want. Do not waste it, it's delicious. And then these need to be baked at 160 degrees C. I've always got a fan oven, so do your adjustments if you need to. And I'm gonna bake them for 35 to 40 minutes. I'll check them at 35, but you want to check them with a toothpick or something like that. Just stick it right in the middle and the toothpick should come out crummy rather than wet and gooey. They're out of the oven, they're cool. They smell amazing. They smell all like bakey and peachy and gingery, and they are calling me. So I'm gonna have to get one in my gob. Let's have a little go. Get your jacket off. Look at all these little cute peachy bits. Oh, and look at all those lovely pink, juicy, peachy bits. Which has gone so orange. I mean pink. You know, it's quite hard to get the flavour of soft fruits into bakes like this, but this is really peachy. So, so delicious. And the ginger in this topping really complements the peaches. It's soft and it's moist and it's bouncy in a really good way. Yummy. Well, I just finished my mouthful and just dust some of these crumbs away. I've made such a mess here. Make sure you make these and do take a picture. Use the hashtag Cupcake Jemma on Instagram so that we can see it. We love seeing your bakes, we really, really do. Anyway, I hope you've had fun. Next week, Sally's gonna be back with a tribute to a film that's coming out soon, which we're all really excited to see. Maybe you can guess what it is. Put your entries in the comments box below, and maybe you'll get it right. Who knows? Until then, enjoy these muffins, enjoy peach season, enjoy the summer, enjoy your lives, and I will be back with you again soon. Till then.